supermarkets, the packaging on Scottish salmon shows pristine waters and projects an image of a clean and natural product. But wild salmon is no longer fished commercially anywhere in the UK. Instead, hundreds of thousands of fish at a time are raised in pens suspended in the open sea. The salmon swim around inside the pens for up to 2 years. The conditions have been condemned by environmental organisations that managed to infiltrate the farms to film this footage. Many of the salmon are eaten alive by sea lice. Others have skin peeling away or chunks of flesh missing. According to this environment specialist, overcrowding causes 25% of the salmon on the farm to die before they reach adulthood.
Late in 2020, and it shows very badly diseased. You've got fantastic breeding situation for the parasites. They can multiply exponentially. If that same mortality rate happened in farm chickens, farm pigs, or farm cattle, or farm sheep, then there would be a public outcry.
There is fear that the parasites are now spreading far beyond the farms. Wild salmon that pass through this river could also be contaminated as they migrate towards the sea.
Maybe 150 farms very close to the mouths of rivers. So the fish, they have to go past these farms. There's no way they can avoid them.
These accusations of widespread infection have been echoed in parliamentary reports. But the Scottish salmon industry has rejected them, saying they lack evidence. The largest farms refuse to be filmed. The one company that did agree to welcome us is much smaller, although it still farms an impressive amount of fish.
Pen is 15 metres by 15 metres by 10 metres deep. And within that, there's about approximately 4,500 fish.
This is one of the good farms, proof that farming can be more environmentally friendly. The salmon are naturally protected by so-called cleaner fish, which feed off the lice, avoiding the need for chemicals. But for this solution to work, the farm had to limit the density of its pens and invest in the innovative technique.
Is it a solution that all farms could use?
Possibly, yes. But some farms are really big, so they would need an awful lot of wrasse to put in the pens. We're working with small pens, which is probably a good idea.
This is why environmental organisations want to reduce the size of farms as soon as possible, despite the economic gains. Catches of wild salmon are at their lowest level since records began. The decline is not only blamed on the parasites, but also on climate change.
The salmon catch on the River Spey now is approximately half of what it was in its heyday in the late 1970s.
This group of fishermen and scientists have been catching young salmon, microchipping them and releasing them back into the river, with hopes of better understanding how salmon are affected by climate events.
At the moment, we're seeing more extreme flows, more extreme rainfall, so the river rises very quickly, more frequently, and that can be quite damaging to the ecology of the salmon, washing the eggs out of the gravel, for example, so we have fewer juvenile fish.
Scotland is therefore facing two challenges: protecting the salmon in its rivers, as well as better controlling the breeding in its farms.